So I've made it no secret that I'm a huge Animaniacs fan, and I'm super excited that Animaniacs is now on Netflix and you can watch it, and that is awesome, right? One of the things that I had a problem with though, as I was watching it, is I started to remember how kind of sexist it was, and I was worried that your modern day blogger, feminists especially, are probably going to pick up on the stuff now that they're adults and they're rewatching it. And, as this is one of my favorite properties, that made me a little, ugh, I'm like, uh-oh, we might be in trouble, right? But it took a little digging around to find a post that someone made about it. And, you know, if you have problems with Animaniacs, I'm not going to tell you not to have that problem. I mean, your opinion is your opinion, and if it's something triggers you, I hate that term. If something upsets you, then then damn it, you deserve that emotion, that feeling. There's this. I found it from this one blogger from Buzz. No, wait, no, not that one. I found it from this one blogger who was talking about it. Um, Cartoons that might not no longer be appropriate in 2016. Animaniacs by Amidi. I hope that I pronounced that name right. But here's the original article. It was by Charlene de Guzman, and it was written as an open letter to Steven Spielberg. Now, if you're not familiar with the Animaniacs, and it's a very old show, I think it's like, 23 years old or something. It's a show from the 90s. There was this one gag in the first episode that they kept doing over and over, and it was where Yakko and Wacko would see the nurse character and go, "Hello, nurse," and then Dot would be like, "Ah, oh, boys, right?" And that was a bit of sexism. It was kind of tongue in cheek. She was obviously not into it, but well, hopefully. But these were the antics, and it showed you that yes, boys are dumb. Women don't appreciate it. Remember, these are children, and they do crazy antics, and they aren't appropriate, right? And that's just an excuse, really. But yeah. But Dot also does the same kind of thing. She does the whole, hello, nurse. Every time she sees like Mel Gibson, or I think this was Mozart at the time. They actually drew her a lot curvier in that, you know. But and then there was one character who was really, really bad though. Minerva Mink. Let's see. She was very sexual. They only ended up using her twice, right? And she was hot. That's all you have to know is she's hot. She knows she's hot. She wants, she's going to want dudes who like hot women, that are attractive, I guess, manly. But what's interesting about her is as soon as she sees a hunk, she's just as bad. She's terrible. Like this dude, at least he's an okay dude, But when she sees muscular, manly, buff dude, she is like hubba hubba melting, turning into an object, showing how her desire. Dorky. She's dorky, you know? And, I thought that was really respectful. Here's a picture of the hub. This isn't the first time someone tried to bring back Animaniacs for modern day audience. The Hub did it as well. But anyways, the blogger, let me see it, Charlene, she goes on about how, it triggered her. It was a show she loved, and then she started analyzing why she liked it and why, all that. And she deserves, I am not going to take away how she feels. And now apparently Netflix, it targets, this is like for younger kids. Says kids TV ages 2 to 4 and kids TV ages 5 to 7. The blatant objectification of women in the form of an adorable cartoon supports children and adults with the story that objectification is okay and tolerated. A woman should be oogled and catcalled. Boys should be turned on and say something about it. Women are helpless and don't have much to say. You must look like Hello Nurse so boys will like you. Hello Nurse is the ideal woman. These are the ideas you are portraying to children. And if you feel that, by all means, as you said, don't show this to your 12-year-old nephew. I'm fine with that. I mean, because here's the thing. You're just throwing us into the wild here. When I was a kid, it went Tiny Toons, the first show they did. Then Steven Spielberg had them do Animaniacs. Then from there, it went from Pinky and the Brain was very popular. Then it went Freakazoid. And you kind of grew up, and then it was Hysteria, which was a history show, and it was terrible. And let's not talk about that. But we weren't just thrown into it, I feel. And since it's Netflix, and we only got Animaniacs, we're kind of just thrown out there for this next generation to be watching this. And they don't have that context or, framework to go with. But I always felt that Animaniacs was sort of more responsible than they would probably get the credit for, because Katie Kaboom, that was a terrible one as well. She's hormonal. She's a teenage girl, but while they try to play it off as teenagers are hormonal, really only became women are hormonal. Young women are hormonal. They turn into monsters and they explode, because they're women. But, Minerva Mink. But no, anyways, I always thought it was super responsible, the fact that they always showed that these kids are dumb. They're stupid. You shouldn't act like this. Yeah, it's fun and games because they're young, but these mature women, they don't like that. And if you don't think that was responsible, they showed that women doing it, women can be just as bad as men, and it is not okay. Now, I know you're like, oh, but you have the main characters doing it, so you're obviously saying that it is okay. It's not okay. I don't know. But then you had characters like Slappy Squirrel. And she was great. She is very positive influence. She was an older lady who had been around since the dawn of cartoons in Hollywood and stuff. She'd be like, you remind me of a young such and such character. And it was hilarious. She's an old Looney Tunes character that never was. And, she always got the better of all of her male antagonists. And then you had stuff that sucked, like the Good Feathers weren't that great. And then you had Rita. Oh my god. Rita and Runt were amazing in Tiny Toons. Rita had a beautiful voice. They sang a lot of songs. They did a parody of Les Mis. There's a lot in Tiny Toons. And if you're like, Animaniacs. And if you're like, well, it's sexist, so it's bad, so I'm not going to show it to people. That's not doing the series justice. And I know the 90s were technically a long time ago. This show has merit on its own. It's dated. It was dated when it came out with references to Leave It to Beaver, okay? And I know that certain things were just swept under the rug. And there is sexism in the show. And I don't feel like it's so bad that you can't let kids who are in that older elementary school going into middle school range, like, tell them, educate them, be like, hey, this isn't cool. And you know what? You're right. When I was a kid, I chased the girls, tried to get kisses or whatever, the stupid, dumb stuff that young elementary school kids do. Give them the framework. Let them know. Parent. That's all I'm asking. Parent. This is something you liked, so you know. This is one of those rare opportunities where you're like, hey, someone should have told me that this isn't okay and this isn't right. But you know what? This is still a good show. Pinky in the Brain. Anyways, but the letter comes off as I don't know, a lot of personal stuff, and she talks about her own personal baggage, and It might just be her a little bit, but here's the picture. So Hello Nurse is like more than just a nurse. They actually did a song about it, and she's actually a very intelligent woman. But that wasn't the argument, is that she wasn't. But the women of Animaniacs are they're really interested, well-rounded characters, really, for a two-dimensional cartoon show based on kids that were designed to be as if they were from the 30s, but were just too much of a misfit group, a motley crew, if you will, to just be in there. So they were sealed in, I don't know, man. I'm just getting tired, and it's Animaniacs, and it's a show I really love, and I'm just going around in circles at this point. So, what do y'all feel? Do you think that I don't know, I keep saying Tiny Toons. Do you guys think the Animaniacs still has merit? Do you think it's too sexist? Are you upset that the nations of the world were wrong when Yakko sang them? I'm a little upset. Did you know that Yakko's voice actor, he's doing a concert tour? I believe has uh, the voice actor of Wacko and Dot along with them. Did you know that you really shouldn't Google Minerva Mink, because she gets you a lot of questionable things online? That's probably why they only used her twice. It's because it was a terrible idea. They realized it was a terrible idea. This show wanted to push the envelope. They didn't want to push it that far, though. Anyways, throw some comments below, and I will catch everyone later. And hey, watch some Animaniacs, damn it. It's good for you. Sort of.